Well, hello there. And here we go. Alright, so I finally got enough ultimate materials. I'm putting them on Kylo because then I can do the Kylo ultimate T6s and put them towards Rey. Um, yeah, it gives it that weird poop brown color when you have the ultimate. It changes your relic symbol to a very strange poop brown, like baby diarrhea color. So I'm just going to let these run. I tested a whole bunch of different comps to see which one I like the most for the purposes of Arena. So I'm just going to let these run in the background. I'm not going to explain my rationale because I think most of the rationale is pretty self-evident just by looking at the team makeups. And I'll try a couple different leaderships and different comps. Um, Looking at the equity markets today, we've had two, at least so far today, two very good up days in a row. Here's the ultimate, by the way. It's kind of badass. Boom, look at that. Everybody's dead. The Fed chairman, Jay Powell, came out today and said that the Fed is prepared to do even more in terms of pumping liquidity into the economy and the markets. So that's very good. New York is continuing to improve despite more fatalities in the last 24-48 hours than any 24-48 hour period previous to that. Hospital admissions are down, ICU admissions are down, so that's good. Yeah, and hopefully Congress can get out of their own way and pass yet another stimulus bill. I'm not worried about the equity markets. I am not worried about big companies. I'm worried about small companies. I'm worried about Main Street, mom and pop shops. They were already facing very, very tough times before this pandemic, and they will be facing increasingly tougher times during and in the immediate aftermath of this pandemic. So hopefully Congress can do more to help small business because this country was built on small business, and yet again, the middle class are gonna get fucked. This one is less by the just economic environment, or at least the design of the economic environment, because obviously the economic environment is shit and that is going to contribute to small businesses having problems. Normally it's a tax issue and payroll tax issue, and now it's just a complete lack of business. So hopefully the government can do something to keep small business and the middle class kicking, because middle class always gets fucked. You have the super wealthy that are pretty much going to be fine no matter what fiscal policy looks like, and you have the extreme low income group that, don't get me wrong, they have a very tough time of it all, but the difference between the low income and the middle class is there's at least one side of the aisle that is always looking to shore up low income families. And I have no problem with that, don't get me wrong. I think that is a moral right. You know, we need people in low income jobs for everyday life. I think that we're seeing that now more than ever. So I do think it is important to remember that low income workers and families are, they're hugely important. They're important, cannot be understated. But I think that middle income families and groups and businesses. I mean, the middle class own a lot of these small businesses. So, yes, shoring up low income families is crucially important, but so too is shoring up middle income, middle class families that employ a vast majority of the low income people. Um, Look, aside from major chains like McDonald's and fast food proprietors, all of whom are struggling right now, um, a great number of low-income people are employed by small businesses. So they kind of go hand in hand, or they're supposed to. And unfortunately, the middle class and middle income earners have gotten probably, maybe not disproportionately screwed, but certainly screwed over the last forever. But the government is firmly committed to trying to keep as many people and businesses solvent as it reasonably can. So that is very hopeful. The markets look great. Not worried about the markets. I have been buying. I have been adding to existing holdings on individual stock weaknesses like Waste Management, Microsoft, Home Depot, things that, sure, they might take a dip in the near future and within the next 2, 4, 6, 12 weeks. But longer term, in the next 6 to 18 months, I expect them to be much, much, much higher. Earnings season is going to be an absolute wash. If companies really take dives during earnings season, once they release their earnings, I'm going to be very surprised. If a stock takes more than like a 2% dive on earnings, I'm going to be very surprised, because I would imagine that at this point, the complete lack of earnings should be baked into most, if not all, of the companies out there, because no one's going to earn anything this quarter or even next quarter. I think at best we'll see a small rebound in earnings in the fourth quarter, and they're still not going to be where they were 12 months ago. So yeah, the month by month, quarter by quarter, year by year comparisons are all going to be just awful. But it's giving me an opportunity to buy things at a tremendous discount to not only where they were 3 months ago or even 2 months ago, but where I think they will be in 12 to 18 months. So I am certainly only buying things on individual pullbacks. I'm not buying anything while it's up day to day, but I still think that if you buy something now, it's going to be higher, considerably higher 12 to 18 months from now, provided you buy something that is otherwise, coronavirus notwithstanding, healthy. Check the balance sheets, make sure they have good balance sheets. A lot of people are looking for high dividends right now because they're comparatively safe. By the way, this is the only other SLKR in my shard, so I'm testing against him. If you're buying something, check the balance sheet. Make sure it's not like a micro cap with no money that is paying a dividend that, oops, I dropped my other phone, that is way bigger than it can afford. I mean, you're not going to go wrong with blue chips right now. So definitely stick to healthy companies. You don't want to be trying to chase the next best thing right now and end up absolutely fucked. So everyone be safe, be smart. If you are investing, invest smartly. Yeah, it's a difficult time, but we will get through it.